So we finally saw it. We finally know what's going on now. We know that the conspiracy is true. We know the three exist, but actually the one that came out what may not have been part of what I was expecting. We know that of all the people, the last thing I was expecting to see come down that ramp was insomnia. That is for sure. No one can tell you otherwise. I'm shocked. I didn't expect to see it. It was out of nowhere. I thought at one point that he was actually trying to help me. I mean, the guy didn't screw me over by kicking me in the face, sort of. Did he not? I don't know. It's a lose for me, but it's a win for my opponent. But my opponent was on the road, and I honestly don't know where to turn now. It's all in the air. I need some advice. I need to be able to reach out and talk to somebody rationally and reason this one out and get to the bottom of what's going on in SCW. I mean, of all the things last week just did nothing but just confirm everything that I have been claiming and working and looking at and fearing for the last month alone. And it's depressing. But no, I need help. I need someone to help me right now understand what is going on in SCW. I need the captain. Yes, the captain. The captain will help me. The captain. Where is he? I can't see him anywhere. Oh, there he is. Ah, Mr. Who, I see you have come into a bit of a predicament. Well, let me see if I can sort that out for you. I do not believe that insomnia is the one that you seek. I believe that you are mislaid and that you are confused by his appearance, along with the whole 3 on the video thing. Now, I believe that what you are looking for in this is a particular type of malice within him. He is doing this deliberately to screw with your head. He is part of an epicenter of culture in SCW that is based on anarchy. He is part of the idea that people will do whatever they want to get whatever they want. He was not after you, Stu. He was, in fact, after your opponent. And thus he was trying to get in his head. It was purely a coincidence that he came out as he did. Please, do not view what you have seen in any way other than simple one person taking advantage in an effort to distract you and get himself further along the psychological ladder in the person you were facing at the time. Well, that's all well and good, Captain, but it doesn't make any sense. I mean, if he was going to do it, why would he do the 3? He could just turn up and run at me anyway, and it would be just exactly the same effect. Well, you see, if I may interject here, the whole reason for this particular miscreants wanting to interfere like that is because he wanted to make a statement of his own. He wanted to feed on the fear that you had, and he wanted to prove to the world that you are just getting slightly delusional now, Mr. Who. And it's not far wrong for everyone to see that actually what's going on here is totally a product of your own psychosis. I mean, everyone who knows you and everyone who's with you is quite with me when they say that we feel, Mr. Who, that you are going down the wrong route here and that you are slightly losing it. This is all getting to you. What you need to do is you need to see the doctor and you need to just calm down. That's what everybody here wants to see. Don't you agree, Captain? Well, yes, I do, sir. What is your name, by the way? Oh, I am the lieutenant. I am a detective with the NYPD. I look into the bottom of things that Mr. Who's subconscious normally sweeps aside. I see. So you are, in fact, the one leading in charge of this investigation. How have you been finding things so far? Well, Mr. Captain, I have not been particularly successful. My leads keep drying up, and my one decent deputy doesn't want to believe me. Which deputy would that be? Oh, that's Bella. I mean, of course it's Bella. And look, I've asked Melissa really, really nicely if she can go in Bella and be Darling, and no, wait, I mean, rewind. I mean, be Bella again and talk to Darling and see if he can get to the bottom and she can get to the bottom of everything for me, and without sort of any sort of support or evidence, I mean, she hasn't come forward and given me any help at all. I don't know what to do. Well, perhaps that you should ask her. Maybe you should tell her directly that you are needing this help. Maybe you should insinuate and tell her that what her methods have been so far have been unproductive. And maybe you should make sure that she acts a bit more forcefully and helps you in a way that is more beneficial towards yourself. That and abroad is completely and utterly uncaring of your own predicament, Mr. Who. Clearly, she doesn't view the seriousness of this investigation the way that I do. She clearly wants just to have this come out of our office and go back to how she's living at the moment and never, ever, ever have to turn over a stone again. However, the detective speaks well. The problem is that she is a friend, and also she does slightly owe you a favour, Mr. Who. So I would not let her run roughshod over you while dealing with your own problems. If she is willing to help you, as a friend should, then she should, hopefully, open up and allow you to ask her to help you in a way that you see fit. But I don't know exactly which way that's going to be. I mean, for all I know that it's the wrong thing. I mean, it could be that this has gone too far, and this is the end for the cult personality. This is the end for Stu Who. This is the end for everything I've been working towards my entire life. I mean, 7 years ago, I joined SCW, as did Doug a bit before me, and when it was EWW, and I'm convinced that something back then is coming forwards now to sort of say, Stu, your time is up. I am going to make sure you never ever ever get anything good again. And until that happens, I can't sleep at night. It's depressing. I mean, I don't know what to do. Look, kid, simple fact is, until we discover who it is who's behind these 3 conspiracy, and who it is you might have a link to in your past that would want to see you wrong, there's not much else we can do apart from play the waiting game. I somewhat concur. I mean, obviously, if we play the waiting game and allow your opposition to reveal themselves as such, then you would at least find out who they are without having to make any supposition. At least by knowing that they will turn up eventually, you don't have to look over your shoulder so often. You can simply wait for them to turn up and prove to you who they are. Yes, but if Insomnia catch me again, what if he's a conspirator? I mean, what if he is the whole reason that I'm doing this now? What if it's actually Insomnia is part of this? I mean, hell, when I brought him to SCW right after winning my Global Champion Future, he was with 2 other people. There was a 3. It was him and Gale and Cyclone, and because of that, it's a 3. It's always a 3. Yes, but Mr. Cyclone has retired. Currently, Insomnia is just a 2. It is Gale and Chris. Well, no, but that's the thing. You see, they get you like that. They make you think it's just them. But then, of course, David Cyclone has always been operating in the background. MDK has always been slightly hanging in the background. And I'm sure there's bound to be one other person in Insomnia's little repertoire that will be there. I mean, he's got, like me, many little hangers-on that he uses all the time. Yes, but isn't the other hanger-on of Mr. Insomnia something of a dullard? A kind of Marco Flint? No, wait, not a Marco Flint. Like, he's a bit more retarded than that. He eats cars for a living and brushes his teeth with signposts. Yeah, yes, you're right. No, it's true. He can think his way out of a paper bag. Thank you, detective. I needed that. Yeah. So it's not Insomnia on his own. He's got to be working with someone else. Who else who could he be working with? There's one other person here. At least there's 1 or 2 other people here, and I need to think. Well, of course, son, you could always just blame this industry. You've been doing it since you got here. This last time, of course. There are 3 of them now. There were 3 previously, but you beat one of them and they kicked her out. But now they've got another one: Marco Flynn's, Sabra, and Dougie Fresh. That's 3 people. 3 people who probably don't like you very much. Well, I don't know, I haven't seen Sabra's Twitter feed in ages, and I don't really do this Twitter thing myself, but it's clear that that's a possibility, and you do not like the Sinistry, and the Sinistry is not a massive fan of you, being, as they are, the complete polar opposite of what the Cult of Personality is trying to be. But you see, that's the problem. You see, the Sinistry is actually trying really hard to be a kind of like evil Cult of Personality, and they're succeeding. Week on week you see more Sinistry signs, you see people playing the Sinistry colours, you see people all over the SCW, the Skewniverse, that they are trying to emulate the Sinistry. It's Sabra. It's Sabra's fault. She's the one who's like bringing them to them. I mean, she's a woman. I mean, how can they like her better than me? Well, I don't know if you've seen the current advert for Legacy, but those are a smashing pair of nipples. That's my point exactly. It's all about sex. I mean, like, how can I compete with sex? Wildcard, I really shouldn't have to point out the obvious here, but if sex is the problem, then maybe you need to bring sex back into Cult of Personality. Actually, that could work. Thank you. I'll ask her. Yeah, well, don't hang around. It's not like you got all day. Yes, I believe I'm having a dinner at 5, and I would quite like to get to it. Detective, Captain, thank you. I will try to think a bit more and maybe talk to her about that, and we'll see. Hopefully, for me at least, she owes me a favour. If she won't just talk to Darling, then maybe she'll do that instead. Well, no harm in asking.